Hey guys, I'm refilming this video again because the first time I left out a bunch of important stuff. So, today I'm going to be making up my Therian story. Not making it up like it wasn't real, but making it up as in I haven't done it yet and everyone else has and I need to get on that. So, I look awful and I just woke up, so that explains why I forgot a lot of stuff in the last video. So let's get started. So, my Therian journey started out really when I was a kid, but I didn't really know. So, basically when I was a kid, I would play a lot of games as an animal. Like, I loved the Warrior Cats series, and so did my cousin. So we would play Warrior Cats, and we would run around on all fours, meowing and hissing, and we were fighting because we were from different clans and stuff and whatever. If you know warriors, then you know what I'm talking about. Or I'd play this game where I was a wolf or a dog or something, or a horse even sometimes. And I didn't know it at the time, but I know it now that I know what it was. I definitely was shifting, whether it was cameo shifting or regular shifting into them. And I'm glad I know that now because it has helped me think about what different stereotypes I might have. And I've actually found out that I have almost all the stereotypes that I shifted into as a kid. I've got a form of cat, I've got a form of dog, a form of wolf, and I possibly have a horse. Another thing what basically started it off is in 8th grade, the second year, because the first year I didn't have any friends and I hated it and I failed it on purpose just so I didn't have to go on with all those people. But anyway, in that grade I met 3 of my closest friends and a whole big group of friends, but I don't really talk to them much anymore because they all like moved and stuff and I don't see them, so that's okay. But so first I met my alpha at the time, who is actually no longer a wolf anymore, but I'll get there eventually. So first we met, and she was sitting in class, in my science class it was, because we both love science, and our teacher was talking about something. I'm just gonna get up, because I have to do something or I'll forget. So I commented on how I thought her tail was cool. At first she was a little defensive and thought I was being sarcastic, but then she was like, wait, you actually think so? So she started talking about therianthropy, and I started to really understand that that's what I was, Therian. And I told her that, and I gave her I came up with a Therian name after meditating for my stereotype. And she got me a tag and a collar, and we wore those around school, and we thought it was literally the best thing ever. So this is the tail she wore. Obviously, she doesn't wear it anymore, because it's in my house. So as time went on, we decided that we would form a pack. And we did, and I can't remember if it was Blood Wolf Pack or Deathly Howl. I can't remember. We were going between those two names, and I can't remember which one we picked. I'm sorry, I feel horrible for that. So, she was the alpha, and of course, since I helped her make the pack, I was the beta, because I couldn't be the alpha male, obviously. That'd be a little weird. So, as time went on, we didn't really get bullied that much that year. That came mostly the next year. And we kept talking, and I didn't have any tails at the time, but that's fine. I mean, I did. I had a stuffed tail, but it looked stupid. I looked like a furry, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever when I made it, but when I wore it to school, I was like, actually, this is freaking stupid. And like a week after I started wearing my other stuffed tail that was a little more realistic, because it was long fur, it was like long fox fur tail. Not a real tail, but not yet. And they were like, no. Apparently some girl in the high school was hiding drugs in her tail, so they banned them for everyone. One person ruining everything. So those were banned, and it was really heartbreaking and difficult on us because we considered therianthropy our religion, even though I know a lot of people don't consider it that way. I'm not religious, and I don't have any other beliefs, so in the case of my religion, if somebody asks me, I'm like, therianthropy is my belief system. You could consider it a religion, but I don't think you can. So that was a huge blow, and we tried to tell the principal, but instead of looking up Therians, she looked up freaking furries, and that just ruined everything for us, because I was so mad. I still don't like her to this day for this exact reason that she looked up furries. when I said to look up Therians. I was like, really? Really? You suck. Anyway, so as time went on, we got another member to the pack named Violet, and she wasn't actually a Therian, we found out. Like, she kind of fell away from the Therian thing, but it's okay, because I'll get onto it. So, she was a cross between a fox, wolf, and a dog, which can happen. I looked it up just to make sure it could actually happen. It can. And that's what she was, and that was pretty cool. And we got her a tag, and she was a pup because she was new, and I was in charge of teaching her the ways of being a Therian. And then, towards the middle of the year, I met someone else who is Sienna, and we started talking, and she thought I was really weird, and she thought my dog tendencies were really weird, but she eventually, over time, became like a sister to me. We started role-playing and talking every single day, all the time, towards about the middle of the year. Bonded over our mutual hatred for a teacher, if you can believe that. Sorry, my dog was just trying to go in my den, and I don't want her to go in there when I'm not watching her. So, a bug. Ew. So, as, that year went on, my Alpha went to the fair, and when she came back, she had a new tail, so she gave me her old one. Now, she'd had this one for years, and obviously she didn't know how to take care of a tail. It was just a tail, but, so that's okay, it's not her fault. I didn't know how to take care of my tails either at first. It doesn't have a tip, like, all the long fur of the tip got, like, chopped off. It's short down there, like the undercoat, and it was very matted and such, so that's okay, though. It was still pretty, and I still did wear it. So, when I met Sienna about that time, she didn't think she was a Therian at all. She just thought she was my human. And then we started talking a little bit before she moved, I think it was, maybe? No, it was the second year, because, okay, so she moved, and then we were talking more about Therians, and she's like, well, you know what, I actually might be a Therian. So I told my Alpha about it, and she's like, okay, alright. So within a week or so, she was accepted in the pack, under the name of Sienna, of course, and that was really great. So that 9th grade year, we got bullied a lot more, and by this point, we only had 4 pack members, one of which was in Texas, because she moved there over the summer after she became a member of the pack. We got her tag and everything. So it was just me, Violet, and our Alpha. And we got bullied a lot for our beliefs, and it was really frustrating to us that the school didn't do anything about it, really. And then came the next year, because that year basically just went on with a lot of bullying, and that's it. I mean, I still had my friends that weren't Therians, but the Therian aspect was bullying, or where. So, the next year was 10th grade, and that was a really hard year for me to get through, because I was alone. My friend Violet went to a different school, and so I was really mad at her, actually. I was really, really angry because she left me. And my Alpha was getting really depressed, and I was feeling really bad about it. But this year I met a friend, or that year I met a friend in my art class, and found out that she was a Therian. And so, and that her name was Sylvan. And so I talked to her, and I talked to my Alpha, and she was accepted in the pack as well, which was great. And so our pack was 5 strong. But by the end of the year, things started falling apart. My Alpha made a statement that we don't have positions in the pack. And that really bothered me. Not because I want, like, an Alpha to order you around, or I want, like, a Omega to beat up on. Like, because that's not how it works in a human, or in a Therian wolf pack, should I say. I mean, you don't, unlike in a physical, actual wolf pack, you don't really beat up on the Omega. The Omega's there in a Therian wolf pack for a whole different reason, and that's okay. The Omegas are pretty awesome. We have an Omega. I love her. But when she said that, I got really upset because I felt like there was no structure. It's like, if you're not the alpha, no one's the alpha, and if no one's the alpha, all hell's gonna break loose. And I didn't really know how to comprehend that. And so, that afternoon after school, we all had a talk in our group message that we didn't really use very often. We just said happy full moon to each other every now and then. But I started talking in it about how things weren't the same anymore, and I was just trying to figure out a way to fix it, and my alpha went all pseudo-depressed on me, and everyone else was like, oh, it's all my fault, blah, blah, blah. I know it's not her fault, she was depressed at the time, so I don't blame her for blaming herself, but I also blamed myself, and that year is the year, by the time the pack was breaking up, it's about the time that Sienna and I became mates, and that was a really exciting time for me, and things started to look up from that point. And at that point, my mom had also said that she could come here over the summer, though she said that when we were friends. When she found out we were mates, she was a little more hesitant about it, but it still was a thing. So, I'm trying to think straight. It's really early, and the story is really, really long. So after this happened, sorry for the cut in the video, I ran out of storage on my phone. So after the pack broke up, I was having a really hard time. There wasn't any structure at all, and I'm somebody who needs a little bit of structure at least. And that summer, that job really, really fell on Sienna, like, crushed her like bricks, basically. And I feel really bad about that now. At the time, I was really demanding, and I feel like I was really difficult, and I feel awful for that now. But, yeah. And so she did end up coming that summer for 3 whole weeks, which was awesome and great. And it was like the best 3 weeks that I'd had in a long time. And after she left, I was still trying to get to be a part of a wolf pack, and I knew a pack in the area, the Onondaga pack. And when I asked to get in, the elf was like, sure, but I have to talk to you for a little while first. Like, I have to get to know you more. I already do know you because I've met you, but I don't know you well enough. So I was like, okay, fair enough. Fair enough. And we kept talking, but eventually we got in a fight over something that I'm not going to disclose because I don't think they'd want to. I'm friends with them again now. We got in a fight, and all of my chances for being in that pack basically were blown out the window. And all my chances in general of a pack were blown out the window. And what happened when, literally the day that happened, I walked downstairs and found out that somehow my dogs got to this tail and shredded it. Doesn't look like it now because freaking lots of hot glue later, they it's better now, but I can't wear it because it'll fall apart. And I took that as a sign that I really needed to let go of having a pack and stop trying so hard to find one because I would never have any luck that way. And I did. And I started watching Honora's videos, and I decided just on a whim to Facebook her and see if her pack was open. And it wasn't yet. It was back when she had her other pack, and they were a local pack. And that's completely understandable. I understood why she wouldn't let me in the pack. So Sienna and I tried to start a pack, but we couldn't even think of a name, so that didn't really work out very well. And after my birthday, like literally 8 days after my birthday, Honora brought up an announcement that she was opening a countrywide canine pack for Therians. And I don't think I was the first one, but I was definitely one of the first, like, probably 15 people to send in. I don't know how many people have sent in general, but I know I was one of the earlier ones. And she's like, oh, I sent in my application, she emails, she's like, oh yeah, I've been talking, I've seen you on Facebook, do you want to talk there? I was like, yes, I do want to talk there, very a lot. And we talked there, and after about a week or so, maybe a week and a half of talking with her, she accepted me into the pack, and I felt really awesome, and I met a bunch of great people there, a bunch of great canines, Therian peoples, and I love them, and they're all fabulous, and I'm just so happy that I met them all.
And then I told Sienna about it, and she wasn't sure she wanted another pack because of the hard experience we had with the other one. But she talked to Honora and is now in the pack with me.